Hi, welcome back to Access Consciousness, and I'm Vanitha Subramaniam. I hope the last segment on conscious relationship was very helpful, and we will be looking at some of the questions later on in the next segment that comes up, because there were a hell of a lot of questions that came up that it required another segment to cover. So today I'm actually going to talk about sex and relationships. Now you must be wondering, oh my God, is she going to talk about sex? Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Now, sex is a really interesting concept because it's such a taboo in so many cultures, and yet it's one thing that everybody desires to talk about, right? Now, how many of us are doing sex from an unconscious place? A few of us? A lot of us? To tell you the honest truth, a lot of us are doing sex from an unconscious place. Now, you must be asking, what does she mean by that? Because how many of you are actually consciously present when you are actually having sex, for instance? Ooh, baby. Yes, a whole lot of you ain't present when you're actually having sex. And why is that? Because sex in this reality is not joyful. Sex in this reality is not nurturing and it's not caring, but that is what everything about sex is meant to be. Sex is meant to be beautiful. It's meant to be a nurturing and caring of one another. It's meant to be so joyful and so honoring. But which one of you are actually having sex from that place? Is it joyful for you, or is it like a chore? How many of you can actually tell me right now, and I can't see you, and I'm just going to take it that most of you go, oh yeah, let's get on with it and let's get done with it. And some of you might enjoy it, but it's still that kind of like 5 minutes thing. What if you could have sex for 6 hours? Yeah, I mean, is that a possibility? Absolutely. And how do you have sex for 6 hours? Now that's an amazing space where you're so consciously present with the person that you're with. And it's all about just nurturing and caring for one another, because sex itself, it's not just about copulation. So what is copulation? So copulation by definition is putting body parts together, right? So that's where in this reality we define sex as. If we put body parts together, the man ejaculates, the woman has an orgasm, both of them have an orgasm, it's over, it's done with. No, what if you can have sex that just carries on, and it's a beautiful dance of two beings, a beautiful space where you're just so present with one another, and you're so, in that allowance of each other where you're just expanding one another. What if it's just that place where you're basically just touching one another, just enjoying that space of being, with no time as a measure, where there's no expectation as a measure, where there is no points of view as a measure. There is no judgment of that person, and there's no judgment of you in return. What would that be like? Are you willing to give it a go? Were you willing to actually start looking at the ways that you have been having sex, and looking at all the places where there's so much judgment in place that it's actually been more of a limitation? It has not even been something that you have enjoyed for a long time? Well, we have tools in Access Consciousness, believe it or not, on how to have sex from a joyful and an expansive place. And that is actually a whole class. In fact, there is a class coming up in Australia in November, which is run by Gary Douglas, and who's the founder of Access Consciousness, and Dr. Dane here, his business partner, who you would have met in one of the segments that I did an interview with. They're doing a class on sex and relationships. So if any of you are interested in actually attending that, feel free to email me. There's an email down at the bottom of the screen, or give me a call, and I'm happy to send you some information about that. But let's go back to this place of having a different reality with sex, having something that's totally a different possibility, something that is so expansive, something that's so joyful, something that's like a dance, something that's so nurturing and caring and rewarding. Does that feel far more lighter for you? Would you like to give it a go? Hey, why not? And the beginning of that is the beginning of taking you out of judgment. The beginning of that is asking the questions. Firstly, is this rewarding for me to have sex with this person? Asking your body, because it's your body that's being put together with another body. It is that space that two bodies come together to copulate. So how many of you ever asked your bodies, is it rewarding for you, body, to actually have sex with this person? Is it going to be nurturing and caring? Is it going to be expansive? Now, the moment you begin to ask those questions is the beginning of you actually being more consciously aware about what is more rewarding for you, what is going to change your experience with sex. Try it. If it doesn't work, give me a call, and we'll see all the places that you've actually put some judgments that's created limitations that separated you from being so present when you're actually having sex with the person that you're with. Now, sex is not dirty, so everywhere that all of you are going into this funky space about, oh, we shouldn't be talking about sex, I'm sorry, but in this reality, all of you actually do want to talk about sex because you know there is a different possibility, but you're not willing to ask the questions, and so you're willing to actually stay in judgment, which creates limitation, which creates separation, and creates you not having sex which is meant to be joyful, playful, fun. Instead, you have sex that is not fun, not joyful, and it's a 3-minute or 10-minute, whichever way you measure your success rates by. It's just a choice. So tune in next time, and we'll start actually looking at how do we actually be in communion with bodies. I've been always wanting to actually do a segment about our bodies. How do we change our bodies? How do we become more present with our bodies so that our bodies are actually in tune and in line with everything that we would like to desire and create as our lives and our reality. Thank you. Have a magical day, and see you next time on Child Consciousness. Bye.